Good morning. It is 6:44 a.m. on Friday, January 3rd, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, given that I am mostly over my cold, but just a little bit of, lingering chest congestion, with the lingering cough, pretty typical for this kind of illness, but I want to make sure I don't allow it to linger any more than, to shorten the period of lingering. You don't want it to turn into anything else. So I, have still been occasionally trying to take decongestant, and I often find that I'm pretty sensitive to cold medicines and they make me not feel good. So I usually avoid them, but Mucinex, just regular Mucinex, usually works pretty well for me. But I was experimenting this time with a couple of other things that I hadn't previously been, I hadn't really tried, just some of like vaporizers and that sort of thing. But one of the things that I had never tried before, even though I feel like I've been hearing about it since I was a kid, is Vicks VapoRub. And honestly, I bought a little thing of it and I read it, and it's like, okay, you spread it like on your chest and neck. And I guess it's like, I suppose it's just so that you are like smelling it all night, like you wouldn't have a cough drop in your mouth all night. Or, you could try that, I suppose, but it seems like a bad idea. So I guess that's it. And so I put some on, and it's like, it felt sort of cool because it's got, camphor in it, and it's just sort of, it's like, yeah, I guess I can kind of smell it. And I was just feeling like, but I tried it and I was just like, I don't feel like this would do anything. And so I looked it up. Turns out, no, it doesn't do anything. Currently, apparently, the research suggests that what it does is the smell and the cooling sensation on the skin can trick your brain into thinking that you are breathing easier when you can't actually. And in fact, the way some people have experienced Vicks VapoRub is like actually putting it under your nose, is that it can make it harder to breathe. And so the answer apparently is that Vicks VapoRub does not do anything. I mean, it can have a psychological effect, like I suppose if you find the smell relaxing, aromatherapy is a thing, I guess. But it just goes to show that it's like what on an episode of Adam Ruins Everything, I had not ever realized before, relatively recently, that Tylenol is pretty easy, Tylenol has a potential to overdose on it that is enough that it would probably not be approved as over-the-counter medicine if it were new. Like, only the fact that it's been around so long, kind of keep it on the shelves. And I can't help but think that, like, Vicks VapoRub has been around long enough, and it's certainly marketed as though it's, like, really does something. But I suppose in a lot of ways it's really just kind of like a lot of the stuff that you buy in the drugstore these days, where it's just kind of like it's sort of medicine adjacent, not really regulated. It is not harmful enough that anyone says that you shouldn't be allowed to sell it, even though it's been around long enough. I feel like it's like it's in my brain and on the what's it on the shelves. It has this it's this presence. It's sitting there like it's with all of the other important things. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. In fact, actually, if nothing else, all of the stuff that I read, because I was curious, suggests that you should definitely not use it for kids. So Vicks Vapor Rub. BS. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle. And then you cough because you're still congested because the Vicks Vapor Rub didn't help. And then Cobra attacks, and everybody has a bad time. So I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.